So are you familiar with Doctor Strange at all?
No.
Yeah, I'm kind of iffy on it. It's a character that, like, you know, shows up in other Marvel properties and everything, and just haven't really focused on it because it was strange. That's kind of been my experience with it. Is he's been like an odd character, but people seem to like him, and now they're coming out with a movie, so that's what we're going to see tonight. Yeah, I haven't really seen many trailers. I've purposefully stayed away from trailers and a lot of reviews out there, just because I don't really know much about the character, so I kind of want to go in as blind as possible. What are you looking forward to?
I'm open to anything, really. I'm just excited to see another Marvel movie and with good company, and I also have not been watching many trailers because they spoil things.
So I'll hopefully do a review of a Good Doctor at some point soon. Ready to have some fun?
Fun.
Okay. Thank you.
Bye.
All night practice and I still can't get it to work. Hello all, and thank you for joining me and watching another one of my videos. It's been great to be back. So what I'm going to do is a little review of Doctor Strange, another addition to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. To preface, I have no background with this character. I haven't read the comics, and I didn't watch any of the shows where he was included, the Fantastic Four, Spider-Man, but I do know that he is a character in the Marvel Cinematic Universe and in the Marvel comic universe to where he's actually pretty important and very powerful. So from the characters that I've looked up and things like that, I know a little bit, but I did not grow up with this character. So I went into this movie with as blank a slate as possible, with as open a mind as possible. And moving forward with my reviews, I'm going to be doing the top 5 things that I didn't like first, just to get the nitpicks out of the way. And then I will follow it up with the top 5 things that I liked about the product, whatever it may be. And the first thing that I didn't like about this movie was there was an exposition overload within this movie. After Doctor Strange gets hurt, he's looking for different types of experimental medications, surgeries, things like that to help him fix his hands because they were very damaged in the accident. He goes to this place, Kamartosh, and he's trying to heal himself. At a certain point, there's just so much exposition and so much talking, and I was invested in it, but I noticed it nonetheless. And I think that if you're not into that type of thing, you might not be into this movie. You might be bored at those parts of this movie. However, stick with it, and I think you'll be pleasantly surprised with what they present. So with that, like I said, that's the first thing that I didn't like, was just there was so much talking about stuff that had happened before, when I felt like because they're magic users and because they can astral project and potentially share memories, I was hoping that they would do some type of flashbacks within memories, that kind of thing, sharing memories with each other. So maybe that's a way to fix it for next time. The second thing I didn't like about this movie was there wasn't much training, and you see from one part where he's trying to do magic and it's not working. At the same time, he's not getting it, and then he just gets it. So it's not really part of a training montage or anything like that. It just happens, and then he does it, and then he's just good at it. So with that, I wish that I had seen more training. And there was a bit of a teleportation joke, a running joke. So I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but I wish there would have been more training. The next thing that I didn't like about this movie was there were a lot of jokes, and I was laughing my butt off. Make no mistake. But there were a couple of jokes that didn't quite land. One in particular that I found hilarious, but it was in the wrong place. It was after a very serious moment when the character's supposed to be at his lowest low, and just this joke happens, and it's so funny, but then I was like, oh, oh man, that would have been such a powerful moment, and the actors really sell it. That's the other thing, is that the actors do such a great job in this movie, but some of the humor just doesn't land. It doesn't hit its mark, and it's unfortunate, but like I said, there's that one joke that's just like, it just sticks out like a sore thumb because it's funny, but it's in the wrong place. So that's the next thing. The next two are kind of combined. So the next thing that I didn't like is Dormammu, the fart monster. He looks... I could have done without the weird ripply face. It was a nice effect, and Benedict Cumberbatch actually did the motion capture for that face. But he's the main bad in the movie, and it's just a ripply face in the dark dimension or whatever, and he has eyes and nose and a mouth, and he talks. I'm fine with the talking, I'm not fine with the face, because it reminds me of Green Lantern and another ripply-faced fart monster that comes into the mix and wants to destroy the world or consume the world or something like that. So anything that reminds me of the Green Lantern movie is not a good thing. That's why this is on the list. But it leads into the next thing, which is there's another bad guy who wants to destroy the world. And the problem with this is that we know that the world is not going to be destroyed. Why? Because there are more Marvel movies. So let's try to make it so that there are some villains that have more personal motivations, like Obadiah Stane or Loki, Baron Zemo in Civil War, who didn't want to destroy the world or rule it in any way. He just wanted to destroy the Avengers. He wanted to see them tear themselves apart because they are responsible for the death of his family. So I want to see more of that moving forward. However, I did like how Doctor Strange beat this particular enemy. I did kind of like cringe when I was like, he's hungry, he wants to eat the world. Great. Real original. So that's it for my dislikes. Let's move into the likes that I had with this movie. And the first thing that I liked about this movie was just the music. A lot of these Marvel movies have big, booming orchestral soundtracks that are like triumphant. You know, and I love those things, but they kind of sound similar, and they make these Marvel movies seem similar. The minute I got home after this movie, I had to buy the soundtrack. There's a little guitar riff here and there. There's drums. There's a sitar. It makes you feel comfortable and relaxed, and I really enjoyed the soundtrack. I haven't heard it before. It's original. Maybe there's another movie where they do the same thing, but I haven't seen it, so it's new to me. So with that, I really like the music, and I really liked what they did with it, and it makes the movie feel different than the other Marvel movies. The next thing that I liked were the visuals and just the world-bending effects and things like that, and just things folding on top of each other, things turning into gears and swallowing people whole and making people fall over, and gravity-defying things, and just, yeah, it kind of reminds me of Inception, but it does more than Inception tried to do. So in that, I really like the effects that they put into this, and just the effort and detail they put into this, especially when Doctor Strange goes on like a spiritual journey. He is sent on a spiritual journey and just like looking into different universes, and like he's flipping out because he's never seen this before. I love that scene, and it kept going, and I think that was perfect for this movie, especially because you need to see that magic is real. You need to see these things happening, because you need to believe it. The next thing I liked, and it's kind of a small one, but I had a lot of fun. Like Guardians of the Galaxy, like Ant-Man, like Civil War, I had a lot of fun with this movie, and I was laughing, a lot of the time. I was tense a couple of times. There was one part that actually scared me. I'm like, oh, jeez. So I really had fun with this movie. My wife had fun with this movie. I was with a bunch of friends too, and they all liked the movie. And on the ride home, my wife and I were talking about just like how good the movie was and what we liked and what we didn't like, and every couple of sentences I went, wow. And when my wife and I were talking about it, we were doing the hand motions and gestures and things like that, and man, I would love to. The actors really sold a lot of the hand movements and everything like that. And speaking of which, the next thing I liked about this movie was just the action. The action looked great, and the actors really sold all the motions and the fight scenes, and I really enjoyed it. There's a lot of action in this movie, actually. More action than I expected from a movie about people using magic, but at the same tone. I do understand that things were happening, pieces were moving. The next and final thing that I liked about this movie was just that the magic looked so cool, and just from, you know, them doing their spells and the hand gestures and things like that. And there's one thing that I wanted to tie together with Doctor Strange, which is Scarlet Witch, and I think that ultimately they're going to have them meet, and he's either going to train her or they're going to fight, and it's going to be awesome. There's a lot of wow factor to it that I hadn't really seen before in a Marvel movie, and I haven't seen in a while in a Marvel movie. That was very refreshing. So I love the look of the magic. I love the animation. I love the hand movements, the gestures. They really sold it, and man, it looked great. So guys, thank you for coming along this ride with me and just exploring the likes and dislikes that I had with this movie. Like I said, I went into it as blind as possible, and I came out really liking it. Yeah, it's not perfect. There are definitely some flaws and everything like that, and if there's anything that I missed, definitely leave it in the comments below. I am considering doing a spoiler review, so if you guys want me to do that, definitely, you know, let me know in the comments down below. Other than that, thank you so much again for joining me on this journey. Check out the other videos that we have on this channel. Be sure to subscribe and go to our main site, because we got a couple of great articles coming out in the coming days. But in the meantime, my name is Black Dragon. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you next time.